Hey, morning guys, quick video blog. It's Drew here. I'm in my other car today, in my Audi. I don't like to drive my Benz to Brooklyn because of all the potholes and tight streets and congestion. And your car could get pretty ruined there if you drive there a lot. Even though I'm gonna have another place out there shortly, but that place will have a garage, so it's different. I'm unlikely to get sideswiped and things like that. But anyway, like I was saying, I wanted to talk today about Andrew Yang suspending his campaign. And like I said in my last few videos, I'm not doing this video to gloat. I'm not doing this video to make fun of you Andrew Yang supporters who supported him. I'm simply just saying to go back to the videos that you guys commented on. Go back to the videos that you guys commented on of mine, where you were saying that I was arrogant, where you were saying that I was misreading something, I wasn't seeing something, where you were saying that I was condescending, where you were saying that I was stupid, where you were saying that I was an idiot, where all these names that you guys called me. I need you to go back to those videos and I need you to watch them over again now that Andrew Yang has suspended his campaign. And I need you to understand that I was right. I was right. I was simply right about the fact that you guys do not have a strong grasp on reality, period. And that's just one case in point. That's just one example. I'm not saying that, some of you asked me, does that mean we should give up our dreams and give up things because we don't believe people can win? No, I'm not saying that. I was simply saying in the last video that if you're going to back a candidate, don't get so attached to them and their ideas that you cannot understand when somebody's speaking objectively, pragmatically, and logically to you. When I was saying that Andrew Yang does not have a shot in hell of winning, that wasn't to insult you. It wasn't a personal attack on you. There's no reason for you guys to take that personal. You don't know Andrew Yang personally, and the chances of his policies getting in are low, and you should be hustling anyway. You should be on your grind anyway. You shouldn't be counting on $1,000 to end up in your bank account from the government. You shouldn't be counting on $12,000 over the course of a year. You shouldn't be counting on it. Now, if you ask me, I think a lot of these people, there's two types of Yang supporters. There's the type that really believes that he'd be able to, if he was to get elected or if he was to get in. There's the type of people who believe that he'd be able to transform society into something wonderful, into a more utilitarian society that helps everybody. And there's people who, believe that he will be their financial savior. I'm neither one of those. I don't believe that his ideas would transform society, and I don't need a financial savior. I don't need one. Even when I was, like I said in my other video, even when I was broke, more than 10 years ago, even when I was broke, I was not looking for some politician to come and save me, some politician to go and promise some program to uplift me at the time, and especially not now that I make a very good amount of money every year, owning 3 different companies. I'm definitely not in support of that. I'm not. There's a Trump supporter out there named Kingface, who I listen to his stuff a lot regularly. He just came out and just said, he's like, all you guys are bums. Like, I'm not coming out and saying that, but I am saying that, like, if you're a hustler, like if you're a grinder, if you're a go-getter, for the most part, you're gonna look at the environment for what it is, and you're gonna realize, like, listen, well, we're in America. You can still make it. You can still hustle. I'm driving through Brooklyn this morning. There's people selling halal food on the corners. There are people selling products. There are people selling. There's so many businesses. That's how you make money in America. That's how you make money. You hustle. You grind. You don't. We're not a nation that, we're not a nation of people that sits back and waits for the government to fix our life. And if you do that, you're giving up your personal power to the government. Now, you can disagree with this all you want. You could, I don't care if you have a different point of view. That's okay. Everybody has a different point of view. But my point is that, in order to really thrive in this country, you need to not only be a realist, but you need to also have a grasp on the environment around you. Have a realistic look at how you look at things, and I think politics, in some ways, the way people look at politics, in my opinion, says a lot about them. Not who they vote for, not necessarily who they vote for, but the way that they look at politics. Because if you see politics as this, like, fair play, this fair, playground where people can just vote for who they want, and there's no influence of money or power or anything, I think, like I said in the last video, you're thinking like a child. If you see politics as, politics in our country is like the pinnacle of power. Like, you have to reason that at the top of any level of power, there's going to be money there. There's going to be people with bad intentions. There's going to be people with, and there's going to be things that people do just to get there that are terrible. Like, it's just logical. It's just pragmatic. And I think, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to be a dick by saying this, but I think, like, some people, including Yank supporters, are just naive about the way society functions. And I don't know, maybe being a business owner has kind of put me in this position where I kind of, I don't, it's not just being a business owner. I've had several experiences. 10 years ago, I was the general manager for Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas Jr. Frank Lucas Sr. was the drug dealer depicted in American Gangster by Denzel Washington. I've just had many experiences. I've just had many experiences in business and in life that just show me that this world is not all sunshine and rainbows. And when it comes to the pinnacle of power, like wherever power is concentrated, to play those games, you got to be prepared to play dirty. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get, in 2020, you're not going to become president without being prepared to play dirty. Look at how the people tried to take out Trump. Your candidate or whoever you support has to be strong enough to overcome that kind of pressure if the opposition plays that game. So that's just an example. You know what I mean? That's just an example. And that's also another reason why I would never run for office. I'd never run for political office unless I had, like, nothing to lose at some point. Unless I got so old that, and Trump is like 73, right? So he's most of his best years are behind him. He lived the playboy life. He lived the billionaire lifestyle. He had the models. He had this. He had the wife, the kids. He had the cars, he had the mansions, he had the casinos, he had, he lived it, right? He's been through it. So it's like, I guess at the end of his life, he wants to do something positive. He wants to have, a legacy that benefits not only his children, but, his name. I was president. That's a pretty big legacy to have. So I'm just simply saying that I probably, would never, I'm 34 years old now. 34 years old, I make a lot of money as a business owner. A guy like me, my life is way too comfortable for me to want to run for political office. It's just way too comfortable. Like, it's like, meaning my business is good. I have satisfied, happy customers and clients. My investments do well. I have 2 cars. I have luxury living spaces and homes. Like, I'm in a good position in life, and for somebody like me to go into politics and give that all up would be very difficult. Now, Trump gave up way more than that. I don't have any, compared to Trump, money-wise, I got nothing. Compared to Trump, I got nothing. I'm not a billionaire. I'm a millionaire, but not a billionaire. But and like, I'm not even a high level millionaire. Like, I'm not even like worth 20 million or anything like that. But like, I've got money for a young guy my age, that started businesses from scratch. So all I'm simply saying is that I think that the way that some people look at this world really shows a lot about them. You know, you're a musician and you're a DJ, or like you're in art, you know, or you want to be an actor or an actress or something like that, and you thought that Andrew Yang was going to help enable you to do that. You think that some politician is going to come in and give you money so you can chase your dreams. It's not that's typically not what happens in forms of socialism, communism, and anything that's controlled by the government. You know, unless you are feeding yourself, unless you're providing unless you're providing for yourself, eventually you become you exist under the thumb of the government. You're at their mercy. They're giving you your lifestyle. You know what I mean? That's just the concept of it. It doesn't matter if like the idea sounds good to you. The fact of the matter is that if you're dependent on that $1,000 a month, you're at the mercy of whoever is giving it to you. Period. When you're in business or when you're trading your skills for money, it's different. The people who are paying you are dependent on you, and you're dependent on them for payment. So it's kind of like mutually assured destruction, or I should better yet say mutually assured creation, because both of you need each other. That's how business is done. That's how growth is created. You know, but the difference is that when the government is just sending you $1,000 a month, they don't really need you. They don't need you. They're sending you that $1,000 a month under the guise of helping you. But it's going to simply, I mean, typically stuff like that just turns into abuse. It turns into abuse eventually. You know, there's examples from history, plenty. When too many people become reliant on the government takes advantage. And I think that's just human nature too, by the way. Like, most people, if you become dependent on them, they're going to take advantage of you. Most people, if you become dependent on them, they're going to look down on you. You know, they're going to be like, you know, why am I giving this person everything? Why is this person living off me? You know? Now, the government is a whole different story. The government exists. I mean, a lot of individuals get into it for power and power itself, for the sake of power. So you have to like really look at any olive branch that they seem to extend with a bit of skepticism. You know, you can't look at the things that they want to give you and say, oh, this is just, you have to ask, like, what's the catch? What's the catch? Nothing is free in life, you know? And I know that some of these words like that I'm saying, some of these things I'm saying, like, really offend people, but as you can see, like, I deal in reality. Like, I tell the truth. I deal in reality. I like to step away from BS. I like to step away from bullshit. And you know, the way that you guys, you know, he was putting whipped cream in people's mouths, how they're kneeling down. The way that you guys worshipped this man, this politician, he wasn't meant to be president. You know, the way that you guys became furious over the slightest doubt of this guy, like he was your savior. A guy like that is not meant to be president. I'm sorry. You know, if you ask me, like, that wasn't good. I just thought that you guys were too obsessive over this guy, and it's because you thought he was going to financially save you. Well, now the $1,000 a month is definitely not coming now. Now you got to figure out how to save yourself. And if you're already working for yourself and you thought it would be a good idea, I'm not referring to you, you know. But if you are working for yourself, you are making good money and you're making decent money, think about how to make that extra $1,000 yourself. Look at what kind of industriousness and what kind of creativity that alone brings out of you. You're not going to get that from somebody just giving you money. So that being said, you know, I predicted that this would happen, and here we are. You know, there's nothing else to say. It's just is what it is. You guys need to have a better grasp on reality. That's it. Peace.